My name is Lysandre, and I'm delighted to be back in Georgia. And today I want to talk to you about a project that is close to my heart at the intersection of culture and emerging technology. It all started in 2022 at a time where the entire world was frozen in time, when we were all locked down and stuck inside due to the global pandemic, not knowing what the next few weeks or months will look like. And this story takes place in Portland, Oregon, a rather quiet city on the west coast of the United States, between San Francisco and Seattle, where I happen to live, as it is the birthplace of a famous footwear company called Nike. To be precise, we land at Pioneer Place, an upscale urban shopping mall in downtown Portland, consisting of 4 blocks of retail, dining, parking that opened in the 90s. While a sleepy city, Portland has made itself famous for always being an epicenter of progressive liberalism. And in this case, on the brink of sparking a global revolution.
During Friday night's riot, looters smashed the front windows and broke into multiple stores. Today, broken windows have been replaced with plywood, some painted in black.
And I'd walk by the Apple building and it was all painted black and it felt like they'd made a canvas for me.
Emma Berger says that was on Monday. She went home, grabbed what she could, ran back to the Apple store and started painting.
Everyone's good at something different and I can paint. And I can paint really, really big things.
With no plan in place, she began on the face of George Floyd and added the words he said with a knee pressed into his neck: "I can't breathe."
It's such an important cause and everyone has to protest in the best way they can.
The impromptu mural stands out as a focal point in a quiet downtown.
And I just think it's beautiful, you know, just being able to express oneself through art and being able to have a place where people can come express their feelings.
It's a place to reflect on how we as America got to this point, a place to pay respects to those that have lost their lives. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and many more.
It's not an isolated incident. There's a lot of faces to be remembered, and this seems to be a good place to remember them right now.
They are just a few of the faces and names that millions around the world are protesting for.
People are finally getting a loud enough voice to probably be able to stop it and to make some change, and everyone needs to help in whatever way they can.
In downtown Portland, Devin Haskins, KGW News.
And a few days later, the Apple Store had become a center place for community, a place where people come to give homage to the one that lost their life to police brutality, a place where ephemeral art is used as a medium of self-expression and reflection, painted over temporary place woodboard. Interestingly enough, a few years earlier, Apple Vice President of Retail had envisioned the Apple Store new design to become a town square for the city, a place where people naturally meet up and spend time. The design was so intuitive that it served its purpose in 2020. Look at this, the magnificent glass cube Apple Store design, a symbol of the world's most powerful company, fractured by demonstrators, and covered all around with a mural. The Portland Apple Store had become a memorial. This mural took on historic significance as it became a national symbol of the protest and unrest over police violence, and it was the beginning of what is now referred to by historians as the Black Lives Matter art movement. People all over the United States and throughout the world broke out of lockdown to take on the street to reflect and have a conversation about important societal issues and injustice, using street art as a medium and the city as a canvas. Street art, by definition, is ephemeral. When painted over temporary wood plank, it becomes even more ephemeral. So we knew that all the art generated over this short period of time will disappear, as quickly as life in the street will resume when the lockdown will be lifted. But ephemerality is a beautiful notion that can be overwritten once we change dimension. Once we no longer let those ephemeral artifacts exist only in the physical world, but rather bring them into a new dimension, one where ephemerality does not need to be, a virtual world. In order to make those ephemeral artifacts persistent, we needed to transfer them from a physical to a virtual dimension. One of the key ingredients of our project was 3D scanning, a rather old technology, the process of analyzing a real-world object or environment to collect data on its shape, on its appearance. The collected data can then be used to reconstruct a 3D object. By history, 3D scanning was always hard to leverage, not only because of the cost of equipment, but also because of the setup required to operate them. But when Apple launched in 2020 the iPad Pro with LiDAR sensor, it instantly made mobile and relatively affordable 3D scanning a reality. This new iPad with breakthrough LiDAR sensor gave us an ultra-mobile professional-grade quality 3D scanner for the fraction of the cost of a traditional laser 3D scanner. And that's how we got started rollerblading the street of Portland, compulsively 3D scanning all the ephemeral street art we could find. Once digitized, the ephemeral artifact becomes scale 1:1, permanent 3D object with color texture that can be appreciated forever. You remember Pioneer Place? That upscale urban shopping mall in downtown Portland? Well, this is one entire block, 75 meter by 73 meter, covered with wood plank, that became a massive canvas for street art. A significant 3D scan of historical importance, as many of the murals are part of the Black Lives Matter art movement. And as of 2022, they all have been removed. And within a month, we had digitized hundreds of murals in Portland, Oregon. That's how Street Artifact was born. Inspired by the street art and graffiti that covered the shuttered city, across store walls, warehouse, train cars, a direct expression of outrage, joy, or pain, or just to leave a mark. We wanted to document the solidarity, ephemerality, and the interplay of the street art, both commissioned and tagged, reflective of the current moment in culture. Street Artifact is a desktop and mobile experience that lets you navigate a city leveraging OpenStreetMap and Mapbox dataset. Each yellow dot represents a virtual artifact. An artifact is the combination of a 3D scan of a real-world physical artifact, a GPS coordinate, a timestamp, and some metadata coming along, such as artist name, building name. Here we discover a mural painted by Damon Smith, honoring the life of Elijah McClain, a 23-year-old African-American who died 6 days after a violent police encounter. We leverage 3D in the web to let you explore the digitized artifact in detail. And then once you feel ready to jump dimension, you can click on AR to either scan on desktop or on mobile, directly launch an immersive experience leveraging augmented reality. And that's the next key ingredient of Street Artifact, augmented reality. An interactive experience that combines the real world and computer-generated content. Not a new technology either, but one that keep gaining traction in the last few years. And for this experience, we live quiet downtown Portland, for the beautiful open nature of the Oregon coast in Manzanita, a place where you wouldn't expect to find street art. I can now reappreciate and explore that ephemeral mural replaced on the beach in Manzanita, taking on new surrealistic dimension, a dimension where this mural would have never existed. Is it physical or is it virtual? It's neither nor. It's a blend of the physical and the virtual. It's important to note that as of today, December 2022, this mural no longer exists in the physical space. Here are more examples of artifacts being replaced in different locations from Portland to New York. And I will now want to try something. It's a live demo, so we'll see if it works. But I thought it would be interesting for you to experience it here, live from the theater. Thank you. Street art is ephemeral. Ephemerality is an interesting concept that exists because our physical world is in constant state of change. Many interesting creative ideas come to mind now that we are able to archive perfect digital twins of the physical world, capturing state of the world. One of them is to play with geolocation on time combined with augmented reality. We go not too far from Pioneer Place. At Cameron Bookstore, an 83-year-old iconic bookstore. And we look at Artifact 71, 3D scan on April 2021. Using location-based augmented reality, we give the illusion, a sensorial immersive experience of appreciating in real world the mural, to then start to realize that it is just a 3D graphic overlay onto a wall that has long been repainted multiple times. Not only this mural and its message were ephemeral, it was painted over a closed door that will soon disappear altogether from our physical collective memory after 83 years of existence. Here, more examples of what can be done. As the city evolves, the material degrade, the paint fade, peel. With street artifacts, we reveal invisible latent layer of information. We have three main layers. The first one is the physical layer. It is the one that never holds the same state, constantly changing. We can appreciate it and have the possibility to save state and acquire a digital twin at every given time using 3D scanning. The digital layer is the digital twin of our physical artifact, geolocated on a map. It is a rich 3D representation that we access through our mobile device. We have an overlay of information, such as GPS coordinate, time, textual information. Because the digital layer is built out of universal framework and protocol, it can be served and connected to multiple virtual environments. And finally, we have the spatial interaction layer. Leveraging augmented reality and location-based trigger, we are merging the physical layer and the digital layer, offering an immersive experience to the user. Today, we use our iPhone to unlock it, tomorrow an AR glass. Current and future generation can immerse themselves in the history of public space and continue the conversation forever and ever. A glimpse into how the web we all know today is evolving towards one where dimensions are colliding into transformative experience. Industry experts call it the spatial web. There is no limit to what can be achieved with such a creative tech stack. We can, for example, experiment with many fun workflows. Here is a prototype of an avatar dancing in front of a beautiful mural. To then realize that it is a miniature scene served in augmented reality. So street artifact is about collective memory. Let's go to Karachi, Pakistan, where street art is rare and more ephemeral than most places. The women depicted in the mural at the Karachi Press Club include Pakistan's first female architect, Yasmin Lari, who was awarded the prestigious Fukuoka Prize in 2016, eminent Urdu writer Fatima Suraya, journalist Zubida Mustafa, Orange pilot projector director Parveen Rehman, who was assassinated on March 13, 2013, and social activist Sabine Mahmoud, who was gunned down by terrorists in 2015. And here is a beautiful poster from a 2021 Women Liberation March. This mural is too often vandalized by groups that are showing their aggression by pasting posters and writing slogans on the face of those iconic women, representative of societal attitude and systemic issue. Maybe one day that mural will disappear altogether from the physical world, but we can make a virtual twin, geolocated at the Karachi Press Club forever, one that is hard to vandalize if saved into a tamper-resistant framework. As part of the current roadmap for street artifacts, we want to understand how we can best leverage blockchain to effectively save and write important artifacts, or maybe even give a platform for undiscovered and hard-to-reach artists and activists that can anonymously generate digital collectible and generate income. Now I would like to travel from Pakistan to Ukraine to present you an important project started in 2021 by Skyron, an Ukrainian company that specializes in 3D scanning with conservation of cultural artifacts in mind.
The war is a terrible challenge for Ukrainian culture. Save Ukrainian Heritage is a new project by Skeiron team involving a large-scale digitization of architectural monuments. Laser scanning and photogrammetry technology capture buildings and numbers and time. Yes, even destroyed monuments can be restored. Support us financially or tell your friends. Let's preserve culture together.
And before I leave the stage, one more video, traveling to Tuvalu, Oceania, where Simon Cole, addressing COP27 leaders, is talking about the need to digitize and archive their country in order to document and preserve their cultural heritage.
As our land disappears, we have no choice but to become the world's first digital nation. Our land, our ocean, our culture are the most precious assets of our people. And to keep them safe from harm, no matter what happens in the physical world, we'll move them to the cloud. Islands like this one won't survive rapid temperature increases, rising sea levels, and droughts, so we'll recreate them virtually. Piece by piece, we'll preserve our country, provide solace to our people, and remind our children and our grandchildren what our home once was.
So I hope this project gave you motivation to contribute filling the metaverse with our collective cultural heritage, to balance the overload of poor sales-generating synthetic content we see being pushed as digital collectibles. Let's build a metaverse worth taking part in, and more importantly, one that we are proud to leave to the next generation. Thank you.